I'm on here, right? Yeah. So, like, that day she wanted to go where her buddies went. So what I did was I kept her feet moving so I can keep her focused on me. But I kept her feet moving where I was changing direction. And the reason you change direction is so that they have to think about the placement of their feet. If you allow them to just go in a circle, they don't have to think about, they're instinctually designed to just run. So they don't have to think about the placement of their feet if they're going straight. And that's still straight, it's just on an arc. Causing them to have to cross over their feet helps them take their brain off of, run or whatever else they're thinking about and makes them go back to thinking about their feet. The reason I kept her down there is because that's where she wanted to be, as opposed to keeping her on this side of me and her wanting to be there. She would likely run me over to get there. The opposite is true, though. Say she was afraid of you. Okay, so the opposite would be true. I wouldn't want her to stay towards you if I was trying to get her to focus on something. So in that case, I would have her stay on this side. Good girl. And then I would do the same thing. I would do the zigzags back and forth and showing her what she's afraid of, but allowing me to be the buffer.
Okay. And that's for anything?
Anything that they're afraid of, you never get yourself on the escape side of the horse.
But I mean, you move her and just let her be around it? Or
Yep, because then you're creating a approach and retreat from a distance. And then as you can get them closer to it, you stay as the buffer and then keep approaching and retreating it. But by allowing them to just go back and forth, it gives them the opportunity to kind of see it didn't move. All right, no, it didn't move, and they can kind of process it themselves. Hi. So I saw she did a really nice crossover just a second ago. So let's see if she'll do that again. Hi, old girl. Yep, you're right. Don't get mad. You're low, man. No, it's okay. So she's lower than them, right? Because she kind of got worried. Okay. Hi. Hi. What's up? Hi. What are you doing? Yeah? What, do you want to show off too? We got to work with her. Little girl. Stop. You can't threaten her because I will protect her because that's my job now. Stop. Stop. All right. You're going to threaten her. You got to go. No. Okay. So stop. I got you. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, bite me. Doing this one. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. No. So you don't get rewarded with a scratch for that. Come on. Go on. She's busy. Come here. 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 Good. So she's got the little brat thing going. Like, so when I asked her to move her feet that last time, she decided she'd think about nipping at my hand. We'll fix that because she'll understand that although what I'm doing is dominant to her, like I should be the authority over the two of us, she'll learn that it's not really so bad. So compliance without an attitude will come in time. But right now she's like, yeah, you and, well, hello. Okay, so she'll probably think to do that again because she's decided that sounds like fun. So next time what I'll do is I'll back her away for that behavior because I don't want her to think that she can grab a hold of anything, me, my rope. Okay, so we're going to try not to do that again. I know. This is tough having to move your feet when somebody tells you to. But look at how good at it you are. Look at how good at it you are. She has total, I'm so not into this. I'm much more interesting, I promise. Good. So I like that she just showed me respect by not coming all up in my space, even though she's decided at one point that she has the authority to do so. Good.
So, quick question. So you're not tapping?
No, right now I'm doing... Okay, right. No, there's both.
Okay, alright.
So this is the physical pressure. So like if I went to her right now without rhythm, and I went to tell her to move, so we don't like that. I'll explain what that was, but I just want to finish what I was telling her. So if I come at her with just a steady, and then I'm going to physically touch her, she's not allowed to assume that I'm telling her to do something until I physically asked her to.
Okay.
But if I come at her with rhythm, now she's expected to yield to the air that I'm pushing at her.
Okay.
So there is both.
Okay.
And one is obviously close-up type of things, and the other would be if I wanted her to go that way, I might give her rhythm and have her move away from the air.
Okay.
So it's like more of a long-distance cue. Why I popped her when she did that is they have a bone right here below their ear and above their eye, kind of like their temple bone, but it's the one that sticks out. They know how to use that almost like a horn. So when she twisted her head at me like that, that's what she was considering doing, is hitting me with her head.
Okay.
So that's why all I do is I kind of get in the way of that. So that's why she... Right? So the rhythm stuff, we'll see, she did that nice. She's already reacted to me in a way that wants to be offended by me, so I'm going to just be a little careful about her response to me pushing air at her. And then just leaving her alone tells her, that's all. You know, you're getting yourself worked up over nothing. Now, see, to me, that was getting herself worked up. She got mad at me. I don't want to see her get mad at me. I want her to just be respectful and respond. They get their energy can come through in many different ways, and it may not need to be in their feet. It could be all mental. So I'm just asking her rhythmically to ask her to come towards me. And when she does, I'm going to release. Good. You're fine. You're fine. You don't have to be nippy. So that was more lovey. That's not, she wasn't threatening me there. The last time she threatened me. So now I'm going to start out here again. It's like bouncing a yoga ball. All she has to do is yield to it. She doesn't have to respond negatively. But once I touch her, see? So notice how she just got curious? She just kind of, well, that's it, you know? And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to keep always piquing her interest in, well, what are you doing that has made me move my feet, but I don't feel that threatened by you?
Okay.
She definitely gets offended. She's probably used to being pushed around by the horses and probably believes in a way she's a little bit above you. So it's like she doesn't want to lose that rank above the human. Good. That's nice. Because I'm showing her more of a dominant relationship. So for her to actually say, well, all right, then what are you in here for then? Is way better than if she thought I was so horrible to be around that she would have thought, I'm going to go back with my friends. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side just because we're working on the front end and she's a little dominant towards me about it. So I'm going to go ahead and ask her to cross over front physically. So. Not as horrible as you're making it out to be, love. She is very, I'm going to say as nicely as I can, she has very youthful responses. right? So I'm very quick to be animated, right? It's okay. You'll get it. That's nice. See, we're friends. You just don't realize it yet, that's all. See? That's it. That's it. Now, one thing that's interesting is she's not choosing to lick and chew yet. She's kind of like holding back on it. Hi. Good girl. Good girl. Gravitate that way. Go look at all the fun stuff to do over there. Go. Hi.
Running. Come on, you're blocking the camera. 20-year-old is so bad.
No, she's fine.
Okay.
She's fine. Yeah, she's not. You're fine. You're fine. Okay, so I'm not going to make, because even though she's older, she's probably still the boss. So I'm not going to make her go towards her. Good. So I'm going to ask her to back up. Back. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. So I'm going to ask her to yield away through rhythmic pressure. So I'm coming in, I'm warning her, I'm warning her, I'm warning her, I'm warning her. And good girl. So her ears, what she just told me with her ears, I don't know if you could tell that her ears kind of went out to the sides. That was when they see something that worries them. Their ears will go out to the sides. So anytime like you're riding and like you're on a trail and all of a sudden their ears kind of flatten out, but down to the sides, be aware that they see something and it's probably ahead of them. Okay. As they get closer to whatever it is, you'll see they'll point at it. Okay. So they'll tip their head to that and they'll show you what they're upset about. But if they go out to the sides, it's usually something that's up in front of them. Okay. Goodness. You're like a trick horse. You're going to push me out of the way, huh? You need to play with a ball. Huh? Yeah? You're like, if you're here, you should be playing with me. Okay. Well, I got something to do here. Yes. 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 Okay, so let's see. Come here. Not you. Good girl. Bye-bye. Good girl. All right, you stay with me. Okay, good girl. So she had her backup's nice. Good girl. With complete understanding and no offense, right? She wasn't offended. So I'm going to try to get this other front leg, her fronts, one more time without her being offended. Good. Good girl. Good. So now I'm going to ask her to yield her hindquarters. Now, you know, her kind of showing us what's in her deck of cards helps me. You know, I'd rather see all that stuff early. So at least I know to definitely protect myself by keeping her nose tipped. So I'm going to touch her side and ask her to yield her hindquarters away. Good girl. Yeah. Do another one. Good girl. And another one. There, that was a beautiful one. I'll even give you my fingernails for that one. Yeah, good girl. So I'll do physical on the other side. So now, did I go over like where you would put your hand for that? So imagine everything's going to be transferable into the saddle.
You did, yeah.
Okay, so you always put your hand where your leg would be able to reach. So I'm going to do the hindquarters on this side. So she's assuming. So while she assumes, I'm just going to rub her and ask her to stop. So she's making an assumption. I haven't told her to do anything yet. Just keeping her nose slightly tipped, so if she decided she wanted to kick me, we're good. So as soon as she stops offering to move, just going to ask her to stop. Because I don't think you're that light, because I'm thinking I was touching her shoulder. Maybe she's that light. She's just going to keep backing up because I was touching her. But, good girl. Now I'm going to stop. Because I rubbed her to a stop, and stopping was what I was looking for. I'll go back and initiate it. Hopefully she'll understand that if I come in rubbing... Here. If I come in rubbing, then that means you're not supposed to go anywhere. So now I'm going to go ahead. Oh, she started moving before I asked for anything. Good. Now I'm going to ask her. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. You're fine. There. That's it. So she's moving without me asking. So that's really an important rule. Because you want them to only move because you asked them, not because they've made any decision to move without your request. So now I'm going to ask her. Okay, I'm going to give it to her because she got a little twirled up there. You're okay, you're okay. So, if I was evaluating her, I would say she's very protective of this side. They tend to be protective of one side or the other. Okay. So this is going to be her sour side, so to speak. This is going to be the side that she's going to kind of try to avoid you getting on. We'll even it out, but just this is the side that you'll always know that, oh, if she kind of doesn't want you over there, or she blocks you like she's trying to do now. Okay. That's why.
Does that have anything to do with, like, daily happenings? I mean...
No.
Okay.
No, it's kind of like left-handed, right-handed sort of thing.
Okay.
She may be less comfortable with her abilities with you on that side of her. I mean, I don't normally watch my horses to see if they're like that with each other. If my horses choose, like, if another horse gets on this side of them, if that makes them uncomfortable and they'll move so they're not. I've never really actually watched for that, but it'd be interesting to see if that even happens.
Okay. Yeah, just because the first thing that popped in my head was that, yeah, when I'm fence to eat and she's down there, and she does always have to go a little on this side because all the action's on this side.
Yeah, it's possible. She's got worry on this side. So I'm going to ask her to cross. This time I want her to cross, not just shuffle. She's kind of shy. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you because she's getting mad. You're fine. You're fine. You have to, like, not make that your first reaction. Okay? You're fine. You're fine. Step up. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Cross over. There. Can you do it without the faces? You make such ugly faces. You can make such ugly faces. Huh? So ideally, I don't know if she makes ugly faces for you, but ideally, you'd want to do that to where there's no ugly face attached to it. Because anytime there's an attitude attached to it, it's kind of like being asked to do the dishes. You never really want to do them. I want her to want to do it. So for her to, like, is ready to be upset. Good girl. Good girl. So I'm not pushing or anything. I've got my fingers in her side and just waiting for her to respond to it in a more productive way than what she's trying. She's just trying to find a different answer by, like, her reaction right now. I'm not worried about what she's thinking. I'm just waiting for her to think the right thing. I'm I'm not pushing any harder or doing anything different. I'm just basically like a rock in your shoe. You know, eventually she's going to want that to be removed. So now she's trying, there we go. You got a lot to say, Cookie. Yes, you do. Yes. So with her, because she's, I'm going to say, there, she's like borderline, like, I don't want to. But the more interesting that you become and the more moments like this that she asks for, because she's asked for some of these little more affectionate little moments. So the more I engage that way, or the more you engage that way, but then go back to work, the more she'll kind of see that as a reward, and will be more likely to want to work for you because she wants to have these little love breaks. As long as she asks politely. I mean, if she were to like try to knock me over or something, trying to get. So I'm going to do the rhythmic hindquarter yield, which that's the one where you look like you're going to see if she's got a butterfly just landed in her tail. That's for like a long distance kind of yield, but she has to learn it up close. And then I'll show you what that looks like. I'll be able to get that far with her today, but I'll show you how you can apply that. So I'm going to go ahead and come out here. I'm going to look, see if she's got something in her tail. If she responds to that as the cue, now I'm going to watch her that she doesn't charge me, because she threatened to charge me last week, I remember. There. So the reason I didn't get louder, which I would sometimes get louder depending on how dull the horse is, 2 reasons I didn't get louder for her is because she was trying, but she wasn't getting it right, so I couldn't stop. But I didn't get louder because she was trying. If she just stood there like, bleh, then I might have done something about bringing up my energy. The other reason is because she's so quick to react to, and she's quick to like defend her physical self. So I didn't want to like encourage her to kick or jump at me. So that's why I didn't take it up any farther either. But truthfully, she was looking to try, and she just needed time to sort it out. So I'm going to ask her again. Good. You're right. Now, what I really like, I don't know if you, unfortunately the camera won't see, but she put her ears up. It was like a moment of pride, which I love to see them get, where they start to go, oh, I got it, you know. So I ask her for another one. And I'm just protecting myself with my other hand. Good. Good. And there, see? Ooh, I got it, right? Good. Yeah. Good girl. So now I'm going to do the other side. Girl. Start out here so she can see me. Good. I know, you did it again. You're a good girl. It'd be real nice if I could do it from this far out, but I don't want her head tipping until I tip it if I have to tip it. I don't want her blocking now she's thinking about being snotty. So I'm still waiting for the one where she actually crosses. She shuffles this way. You're okay. You're okay. So she's starting to come up with a different answer. So you saw, she kind of thought a couple different answers that weren't on the positive scale.
Yeah.
So I haven't invited her to me yet. So when I do, I'm going to expect her to respond. So now I'm going to bend over, being very inviting, and I'm going to start combing the rope. And as she chooses to resist, I'm going to close my hand. But as she comes, I'm going to open my hand. So now I'm going to start to close my hand on the rope again because I haven't stopped asking. When I stand up, she should know that's far enough.
Okay.
If she doesn't, like say when I stood up, she kept coming at me, then I would throw the wiggle back into the rope to create the energy to stop her.
Okay.
Because we had a personal space issue that first day,
Yeah.
which she seems pretty good today. So that's good. That's good. But you notice how her ears are starting to get a little more engaged with me, like she's finding me a little more interesting, which is nice, because I'm not really doing much more than what they do to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and ask, she got her one ear went right on me though. I'm going to ask for the same thing, and we'll see if we can't just have her believe that that's all she was being asked to do. So I'm going to ask again. So it's very deliberate. So she should, good. There, she showed a sign of being proud of herself. Good. Oh, I don't know. Do you deserve fingernails? Maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. Okay. So, the couple things that she knows, we're going to go ahead and apply them to something. So I'm going to ask her to back up. I'm going to tell her front feet where I want them to go. I didn't give her a go cue, so I'll introduce that now. So what I do is I do 1 kiss for walk, 2 kisses for trot, 4 kisses in rapid succession for canter. Okay. We'll work on a walk first. So she'll learn that right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her to cross her feet over and not leave. Okay. And then I'm going to ask her to leave by giving her another cue to tell her to leave. Then I'm going to ask her to go in a circle. Okay. Then I'm going to tell her to stop by looking for my butterfly.
Okay.
In fact,
just so you know, the stuff I've done with her before, Tamara, it's always been like walk and toe.
Okay.
But just so you know.
Okay. She'll pick up on it fast. Okay. Because she has trouble yielding this way, we're going to set her up to succeed. Okay. So because she's struggling to yield away from me on this side, I'm going to send her this way. So when I ask her to yield her hindquarters, she can do it more easily. So I'm going to ask her to back up. So this is a much more intent look, which I'm going to remind her that we're not sleeping. If they back up true, they back up straight. Good. Now, I wait for the ears. And in that case, that's a question. So she asked me a question a couple times already, and I didn't respond. But when they put their ears forward is when you ask them to do something, different. Okay. So if she had just gone back there and been all like this or looking over there, then I wouldn't have initiated anything else, because she should want to know what's next. Okay. If she doesn't ask me what's next, then it's not going to be a positive experience for either of us. So I'm going to kind of make myself a little more interesting so she can ask me what's next. Good. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, how about you cross your feet that way? And I'm going to wiggle my rope if she tries to come in. So right now I'm kind of having to pull on her, which is going to cause her to come more towards me. Normally I would want to point that way, but she doesn't understand the point yet. So I have to kind of encourage the feet to do something. And I'm just creating some energy here to direct it at her shoulder. And I only want her to cross her feet over. If she were to come towards me, which she's not going to think about doing that, I would just throw, a quick wiggle in the rope. Good. 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 So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another one, because that was kind of a small one. And then I'm going to try to get her a little more pointed in that direction. And then I'm going to ask her to go, and then I'll give her some energy kind of at the rib cage. You can give them the energy at the hindquarters, which is where we usually think to drive a horse from. But unfortunately, that'll cause her to yield away, because we're doing yielding exercises as well. So if you give it more in the rib cage, it'll give them more of a push out. Okay. So I'm going to ask her to do that same cross over with her feet without leaving. Good. Good girl. Good girl. And you even thought not to leave. Good. So now I'm going to go ahead and give her go energy. Good. I'm going to leave her alone. So if she may have only taken one step, but she has to understand the cue. And the cue she doesn't know. So now I'm going to say, how about you try a couple more steps? Good. She'll settle in as soon as she figures out that when I get going in my noise and my energy, it's when she's not doing what I want. When she does what I want, I go quiet. When she stops, I'm going to get alive again. She's just confused. She's looking for other answers. Hopefully she doesn't decide to get mad. Good. So she's just confused. She's probably thinking about rearing on me in a second because she doesn't know what to do, and that seems to be what she likes to do now. Good. Good. Good girl. So now the trick is to just leave her alone. See how those hesitant steps aren't being bad by any means. Those hesitant steps are all questions. Now she's in licking and chewing, which is something she's been hiding from me so far. So again, chances are she wants to be over there, so it's going to be maybe a little bit harder to get her to go past me and stay over there. So hopefully she's picking up on what this means. So I'm just going to make the wrong answer a little bit harder. And the trick is to just go as quiet as you can, as fast as you can. So it's like you want to make sure that she understands the right answer creates calm. Good. Good. Those are all positive steps. Those aren't negative steps. Good. Good. So that wasn't, although she had a nasty look on her face, that was still a question. She was still asking, is that enough? Is that what you want? Is that enough? I want to help her. I want to get her to go one, because I want to help her. So I'm going to try to get her to where I can successfully yield her where she can comfortably do it, not on the fence. So I'm going to go ahead and look for the butterfly now. And now I'm going to leave her alone.
Okay.
I may, see she's asking for the moment. So I'm going to, and she did it politely. She's like beside herself right now. She doesn't know. She's like, I really kind of want you to touch me again. Good girl. There, that's all perfect. The blowing out, the licking and chewing. Good girl. The head down. Good girl. So you'll watch. I'm going to do it 3 times. But you'll watch as I get her going, she'll start to get more confident in her movements. And then because all those hesitant steps, those weren't at all in defiance. Those were completely in, I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure. So I would never, ever discipline that or get after her, get louder or whatever. So I'm going to ask her to back up. Good. Wait for a question, that's not directed at me. Wait for a question. That's not directed at me. Maybe get one more backup step. Now ask me. Still not directed at me. That's a little bit better. So now I'm going to ask her again to do. Good girl. Good girl. Good. And the trick, too, is see how I'm kind of like leaning in with my hand? Yeah. Is only because I don't want to accidentally pull her back and make her wrong. Okay. Good. Good. So that hesitation, all I did in that case was just to say, you're right, you're right. Yep. So now I'm going to yield her. Oh, that frozen poop you stepped on. You're okay. Okay, don't use that. Don't use that. So she was thinking about maybe nipping my forearm, so just letting her know that's not a game I want to play. Good girl. So again, I'm going to just kind of come alive. She allows herself to kind of fall asleep, which is good. I'm going to ask her to back up. So just going to respond to because that wasn't an unknowing delay. That was, I'm not sure, good. Now she's licking, chewing. She asked me a question right away, but I'm going to wait for her to ask me a question where she actually wants the answer. Because that was more like, what was that all about? That was that kind of question. Good girl. Good. So if she stalls now, I'm going to say, yeah, you're right. You're right. Good. See how those are all questions. See how she's lifting her foot like, should I walk? I'm not sure if I should walk. Good girl. They're just questions. Good. Good. So I'm going to trick her and ask her to keep going right here. Good. Because I wanted her to not get in a pattern, because they're very pattern oriented. So I didn't want her to think that every time she gets to that spot, I'm going to yield her. So now I'm going to yield her. I'm going to ask for a better one. Good. Good. So she kind of had an untrusting as I approached her. So that's why I kind of waited a second. Because I didn't want her to be like, and then have that escalate into, you've approached me rudely and I'm going to rear up. Because we don't want her to get in the habit of that. And so it's what today is like twice. It was her go-to move, so. Good. Okay, so we'll try the other way. Now, the other way, you know, I've told you that they don't transfer information. So the other way will be new. She'll have the same concerns. Back up. And she may be reluctant to go any further back because of the fence. But I'm aware of that, so I'm not going to make her wrong. I'm going to tell her to go this way without... Well, she can go, though, but... So her leave that time was more like, yeah, I'm out of here. That was not quite as respectful. It wasn't with as much knowledge. See how she's a little stirred up now? So, this might be because this is the side she doesn't want me on. See how she's getting herself a little twirled up? So I'm going to let her off the hook in a second. So I'm going to let her off the hook now. You can finish it even though you have to poop, I know. I'm going to leave you. Good girl. Okay, now you have to finish it. Okay, good girl. Good girl. Okay, she showed us that she definitely has a problem with that side of her. She got much more worried. It wasn't that she was confused or asking questions. She was more like in evasion. Like she was, okay, I'm out of here. You're going to be on my bad side. I'm not really comfortable with that. So then as she got where she was getting, then she became unconfident, and her unconfidence drew her back to her buddies. Okay. So did you see how she kind of got closer to me and more like, I'm going to go over there kind of way? So that was kind of her way of saying, I'm not comfortable with what you're doing. My buddies bring me comfort. I'm going to go there. Okay. So that's kind of what she was saying throughout that whole process. I wanted her to keep going because I wanted her to kind of develop a little more confidence, because if she gets babied too much, she's not going to be able to work through that stuff. Okay. But in the same sense, if I let her do it too long, I would have created more fire than we want. Okay. So it's kind of like you push her, you know where that threshold is. She was showing us right from the get-go. And then just kind of push her a little bit and then tell her there's a break. She's absorbing, even though if you can watch, like if in her eyes, you can tell that she's like all in thought right now. So let's see if, because that didn't mean anything and it didn't hurt her and it didn't cause her any grief, we're going to go ahead and ask her to go that way again. But see, yeah, that's a much different leave. You're okay. So, I'm going to let her off the hook right now. Listen, there. So I just got louder because of the wrong answer. Static, it's probably not very nice, right? Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get you to understand, yeah. Is it making noise? Yeah. Okay, so because we have a little bit of a personal space issue, I'm just going to ask her to get back out of mine. Good. You're good. Nope, nope. So I call that creeping.
So why is she coming into you right now? Because
she's unconfident right now. She's very worried. Something made noise behind us. Okay. So now she's thinking she wants to blow up and run that way. Okay. So she's got, I'm going to explode and run past you in her mind right now. I don't know what, something moved out there. So my asking her to go back over there could be fueling a fire, or it could be helping her with her confidence. Good. Now I'm going to let her off of that and just let her leave. Good. I'm going to ask her if she wants to look that way, that she can look at whatever worried her. I know. I'm leaving you in your own head a little bit, huh? Yeah. So I would do, like, almost where you would come out and just groom the other side of her. Just spend a little bit of time on that side of her in a positive way. Because she has some worry with somebody being on that side. I mean, you could definitely tell the difference between left and right there. Where if I ask her, back, 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 back. If we go the other way, that she just learned, we don't have the same leave, we don't have the same energy. Ask her to yield. So it's two different horses there. Good girl. So we already know where we have to help her. So she needs help on that side. Maybe like you spend some time just kind of being on that side, but maybe if I mean, I know you were able to see what was happening, but if you don't think that you can help her going in that direction, then don't. Then just work on the side that she's learning. Okay. Just so that we don't, if she's having a heart attack, we don't, pump her with some epinephrine. Good girl. Good girl. So I'm going to try one more thing with her, which may or may not help her. You want to come with me? Come with me? Come here. Come. So now I do have steady grip there, but as she comes, I let loose. Good. So I'm going to see if I can help her with one thing. I'm not sure if I'll help her or not. I might be asking more than she can handle. Good girl. Are we going to be asking you for more than you can handle? Huh? Let me see. Here. Good. Good. Wait, good. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Good. Is that better than my glove? Okay, come here. We're going to do that again. So what I'm doing is I'm setting her up for learning